Now, if you guys saw part 1 on this, then you know what we're talking about. Now, if you haven't, go watch part 1. Now, starting with the Generation 1 Elite Four. Okay, there's an ad. Great, I like those. Just kidding. The Elite Four of Red and Blue, and Fire Red Leaf Green, and also Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu are Lorelei, Bruno, Agatha, and Lance. Lorelei is an Ice-type gym leader. You think she might be easy to beat, right? Right. No. Charizard, just because it is an Ice-type not gym leader, an Ice-type Elite Four, doesn't mean she's prepared. Most of her Ice types are Water types, and she also has Slowbro. And I'm just gonna pause right here. How the heck do you claim to be an Ice-type Elite Forest and have a Slowbro? Which isn't even Ice. Okay, sorry, get back off topic. Sorry. So basically, Charizard will go neutral with her unless you are very cocky and try to take her on with only Charizard. Then all bets are off and you can be easily destroyed by a Water-type move from Lapras. Bruno's Fighting type, just be careful with the Onix. The rest of the gym should be a cakewalk. Agatha, you'll go neutral with. Lance, you will go neutral with, depending on which game version you play. You play the originals, you'll go neutral. The next ones, you can easily beat them with a dragon move that you can learn. Now the champions. Depending on which one, depends on the easier time. Blue has 2 Pokemon that could take out Charizard like it's nothing. The Rhydon, and of course, his Blastoise. Trace, or whatever his name is, depending on which version you pick, and depending on which evolution he picks if you get Pikachu, you are kind of okay / screwed. I don't know. I played Let's Go for a while and did some things, but I barely remember. Now, moving on, the Generation 2. Where Will, which is a Psychic, you'll go neutral. Koga, you'll go neutral in a way, even though you're going to take on Ariados and Fortress and take it out like it's nothing. Bruno, like I said before, just be careful of Onix. Karen, you'll go neutral, you just gotta be very careful with some of her Pokemon. Lance, depending on which version you have, actually no, not depending on, you can get Dragon Breath in this one. Lance is a cakewalk, just be careful with that illegal rock-sliding Aerodactyl in the original games. You think I didn't know, Lance, you cheater. Now, moving on to Hoenn. You'll go even with Sydney, go even with Phoebe. And Glacia, be careful with the water types, that's all I'm going to have to say, but you can easily beat the rest of her ice types. Drake, be careful, because in Oris he has Kingdra, but the rest of his team you can somewhat beat with Dragon type moves. Maybe be careful with Flygon, but that's basically it. Steven, cakewalk, just watch out for those rock type moves. Wallace, like I said before with the gym leaders, keep him in the Pokeball. He doesn't need to be surfed around. Now, Sinnoh, Aron, you can take out with fire type moves because he's Bug. Bertha, you'll go neutral with. Flint, you'll go neutral with. And Lucian, you'll go neutral with. Wow, 3 neutrals. Cynthia, be careful with Garchomp and Milotic or Gastrodon. Lucario, Roserade are the only ones that can easily be guaranteed without having a hard time trying to take them out. Now moving on to Unova, where we have Chantel, which you'll go neutral with. Marshall, which you can easily beat with flying type moves. Grimsley, depending on how you do it, you're neutral with. And Caitlyn, you're neutral. Just watch out for those 3, Caitlyn, Chantel, Grimsley, and Caitlyn, with the fact that you can easily get bodied by an electric type move, or a straight electric, water, or rock type move if one of them has those. Outer, we're not going to count because you don't fight them in the main game until you beat the main game, so we're going to talk about N. Depending on which one, you're going to have an easy time, a somewhat easy time, or a really hard time. If you're playing White, you can easily take on Reshiram with a Dragon type move, but be careful of Caracosta And, of course, Archeops and Kling Kling, even though you're super effective against it, you still have to be careful with you still have to be very careful against electric type moves. But if Getsis, you can easily beat him with you're actually gonna go neutral with him. I'm not gonna say you can beat him right off the bat like it's easy. You just go neutral. Iris, you can take out most of your team. Just be careful with the rock types. She has an Aggron and an Archeops, which doesn't help. And of course, you still have to watch out for the Lapras. Other than that, you're in a cakewalk because of Dragon type moves. Now, with Kalos Malva, you go even with if you have the Mega Charizard IX. You'll still go even with her if you have Charizard IY. Seabold, you'll go even with Charizard IX and Charizard IY. Just be careful with the Charizard IY. Even though Drought's there, you're not going to be protected by this thing forever. Wixom, you're going to destroy with either Charizard form because, Fire is super effective against Steel. And even the Probopass you have to worry about depending on which Charizard form you're using. Drasna, you go even with the Charizard Y. With Charizard X, you destroy her. Diantha, just be careful with the Tyrantrum and Aurorus. The rest of her team is slightly easy to beat because of Charizard's flying typing or Charizard's Spark Dragon when the Mega Evolves. Now moving on to Alola. In Sun and Moon, you're going to be easily defeating Hala like it's nothing because Hala is an easy person to beat with Charizard. Keep him away from Olivia. She is a bad one to go to no matter what. Acerola, be careful, but you can take her out. And Kahili, you can still take her out with a nice fire type move. Or flying, depending on if she has stuff. Then, if we go to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it's basically the same thing with the other three. Melon is basically an easier cakewalk than Hala was. Then the champions, I'm just going to say this. With Kukui, depending on which starter you pick in Sun and Moon, be careful because he has a Lycanroc. And I'm pretty sure if you had picked Incineroar, you're going to be screwed with Primarina. So basically, that's it. Then, in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, just be careful of Howl's electric type Pokemon. Primarina if you picked Rowlet, or Vaporeon depending on which starter evolution that he picks, or Jolteon. It really depends on which thing he evolves into. Now, Galar is interesting because you don't have an Elite Four. So basically, it's going to be separate into depending on which game you're playing. Nessa, in both games, keep him away. B, you easily take her out with flying type moves. But Alistair, you can easily get your butt handed. You can not easily get your butt handed to you. You can go neutral with him. Then, of course, we've got back to both versions again being, simultaneously easy. With Raihan, you can easily beat with Dragon type moves. Then Leon depends on which starter you picked. If you picked Inteleon, you're going to have an easier time because his first Pokemon Stage Slash you'll take out with Fire type moves. Then Haxorus you can take out with a Dragon move. Mr. Rhyme you can take out with Fire type moves. Dragonpult you can take out with a Dragon type move. And then when it comes to Robo-Boom, you can easily take out with a Fire type move. And Gigantamax Charizard can run Rock Slide, so there you go. But it all depends on which starter you pick. If you pick Italian, it's a cakewalk. If you pick Cinderace, why would you do that? That's a bad idea. Then, of course, if you picked, Garuki, it's neutral, but basically, depends on which starter you pick. Same thing with Alola, but... So, how good was Charizard actually, the Charmander line actually, in each game? Generation 1 is a hard pass completely. Not only because of its really being difficult and hard to beat, thanks to rock types, water types, and the broken things from the original game, But even then, in the remake, you still get screwed over by certain Pokemon Titans, and they get better movesets. And then even in Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, where it gets easier, you still gotta watch out for certain moves. In Generation 2, doesn't matter which version you play, Charizard at least has a decently good time for it, because you basically go neutral throughout the entire game. Except in certain parts you actually do beat him. Heck, the second gym, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th if you've somehow got a Charmander with a Dragon-type move, is an easy way of taking on Claire. And even then, the Elite Four is still somewhat easy by going neutral with, because has Executors, Will has Executors, Koga has both Ariados and Fortress, Bruno's entire team is fighting, and Karen, and Karen has a Vileplume. Yeah, kind of easy to deal with. Well, Lance, the only thing you have to worry about is just Dragonites with Thunder or Thunderbolt, and of course, Gyarados and... But still, easy to deal with. Generation 3, wouldn't recommend. Doesn't even matter if you're playing Ruby Sapphire or Emerald or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I wouldn't recommend it. Rock types are still a big problem for Charmander / Charmeleon / Charizard. Then of course, if you have basically, it's not that great of a Pokemon for Gen 3, especially if you're playing Emerald, because double water type is not good. Sinnoh, I wouldn't recommend, because you get a water type gem, you got a water type gem, an electric type gem, a rock type gem, and the Elite Four you can go neutral with. That's the only saving grace for Charizard in here. But Cynthia can shut him down right off the bat. Unova, it depends on the first game. The first game, you can somewhat go through it easily. The second game, you just gotta be careful. It's even worse in the second game. No wonder Mystic Umbreon said that Gen 2, Black and White 2 was the second hardest game. Kalos is a cakewalk because Charizard's diverse moves pool. Just be careful with the Electric type gym and the Rock type gym. The Elite Four, be careful with Seabold, and if you have next Charizard X, be careful with Jessina. And of course, the Ampha, depending on which Charizard form you're using and how you're gonna get through getting through Auroras and also Tyrantrum could be a problem, but that's basically it. Sun and Moon, it's basically, first trial, easily to beat. Second trial, wouldn't recommend them for. Third trial, wouldn't recommend them for. Fourth, easy beat. Kahuna, no. First, I'm gonna talk Kahuna after this. First trial, first trial on the third island. Doesn't matter which version you're playing, Charizard can easily beat it. Just be careful with the electric type moves. I forgot to mention that. Second trial on the third island, we're going to recommend that much, even though Mimikyu can be easily defeated depending on some of the moves you use. Fourth island, first trial is easy to beat because of the moves you can learn. And alternate Necrozma is always a pain in the butt regardless. And of course, like I said, with the other one, Rabombi is a piece of cake. The Kahunas, first one, you go even with. Second one, I wouldn't recommend bringing Charmander out, or Charmeleon by then. I would bring him out. Then of course, third one you go neutral with. Just be careful just in case of rock type moves. Then of course, last one you go even with, depending if you have rock type moves or not. Then, like I said, champions and all that you can go neutral with, and basically Gaur, depending on which version you play, is either easy and quick to beat or completely hard and difficult with Charizard. So, how good was he actually? It was okay, not that great. I wouldn't recommend him using in. The only games I recommend him being used in is Generation 2, Black and White, and of course X and Y. Those are the only reasons I recommend him for. So, saying that, what do you guys think of my videos so far? This video series so far? It's just me talking about certain Pokemon and a certain in-game playthrough of a certain game. I'm starting off with the cancel starters because it's easier to do that, plus I was basically doing a thing a few weeks ago for doing that, so hope you guys enjoyed. Squirtle is next week, and we'll talk about him in both gyms and Elite Four, so hope you guys are looking forward to him, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!